have your back, but...
But now it's a three-way, and the Democratic Party wants quick and easy solutions, even if that means...
Even if that means what, Ted? Sending mixed messages to our base, muddying the water? I was unable to be who I needed to be. Frankly. Just have to keep this a secret for a few weeks.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Experience and time can make the difference. Call Jim Legal 24 today. It's just like yours. Since 1999, our company has been guided by one simple principle: to always do the right thing.
Rachel, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you? It's nice to meet you on Zoom.
Hey, likewise. Now tell me, what is your name at birth?
Rachel Robison. And it was very difficult because people always put an N in the middle. Rachel Robinson, they would always think, and I'd always have to correct them. It was Robison with no N.
So it's Robinson.
I-S-O-N. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was my maiden name.
Oh, okay. Now, Rachel wasn't your parents' first choice, right? The name.
No, yeah. I made that a quiz on one of my stories. No, my mother was going to name me Jennifer. And she was watching what it was, a soap opera. It was actually called Another World. And there was a character by my name on it. And she was about to put Jennifer down just for no reason. She liked that name. I wasn't named after anyone in particular. And she heard the name and she said, Rachel, and changed her mind like at the last minute.
Now your mom, did she name Jennifer like your other siblings or?
No, actually she had changed her mind 10 years later when she had my sister Sarah, and just named Sarah because she liked the name. No one was named Jennifer.
All right. Now, where are you from?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Now, where are you currently living right now?
Charlotte. Well, actually, Concord. I say Charlotte sometimes if people aren't familiar. Concord is just right outside Charlotte.
Well, basically, they're cousins, so
they are cousins.
Now, Pittsburgh, was that the only city you lived in before you moved to Concord?
No, I lived an equal amount of time in New York as I did in Pittsburgh.
So for how long?
18 years in Pittsburgh, 18 years in New York. And I've been in Charlotte almost 20 years. Actually, it'll be 19 years. Yeah.
Oh, now for New York, what's the great part of living in New York back then?
Oh, that's it's hard to say. New York is truly the city that never sleeps. It was a wonderful place to live. I love New York. Although modeling drew me there when I was 18, it is where I raised my children and where I got married and where I lived a lot of my life. So New York is a wonderful place to live, to eat, to shop, to work. Now I'm going up there full circle. I'm working now in New York every now and then, self-submitting there as well as where I live.
How long have you done modeling before?
I did it as a teenager, but even as an actor, there are times that we'll do things that kind of cross the boundary of modeling and commercial realm, but I modeled as a teenager from about 13 to 19, and then I got out of it. And now I find myself doing some things again, although it's mostly acting in New York.
Now, what were some of the sponsors you modeling for or stores? Do you remember?
Yeah, no, when I was a teen, it would have been the equivalent to what Belk and Dillard's are here. Pittsburgh had Horns and Kaufman's. They were the department stores at the time. So you would find me in your local newspaper modeling for those department stores, catalog modeling, just doing clothing, things like that.
Now, were you subject to differential treatment during your time in school, particularly when you engage in modeling activities?
No, everything was really cool. People were cool about it. I really didn't miss a lot of school because the schedule they had me on, I'd get out of school and when I got the school bus home, I would jump on the regular bus to go downtown to shoot for an hour or two, a couple times a week for those stores. So it didn't conflict with school. There were just a couple times I did miss, depending on what I was doing. If I was modeling for something else, or if the job took all day, like one time I did legs pantyhose, or if I did bell telephone or a hair ad, like they might not be after school. I would have had to have been there for more of the part of the day. But usually what I did was catalog modeling, and I did it after school.
Now you left modeling at 18. Any
19,
regret?
really.
Huh?
19, but
19, I'm sorry. Any regrets?
no, not at all. Because my life would look so different. I had my kids, my husband. I loved just being a mom. And but now I am getting back into doing things. So it's nice, because I find myself going to New York tomorrow. I don't know when the interview will be watched, but it's the 28th of July. So on the 29th, I'm going back to New York to do something. So
Mhm. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I hope. Now after modeling, what's next? What was next after that?
oh, mom,
Just
total mom, stay-at-home mom, raising my kids. Yeah, I loved doing that. Wouldn't trade that for the world. But I'm happy now to get back into doing things I was doing.
years later, you decided to want to do acting. What interests you in doing that?
Yeah, well, I was actually when I got back into things, it was modeling because I hadn't acted. And I was on a set with some actors, and sometimes we cross over commercially, and you begin to meet people that are models and actors. And so I got to know some of them, and I was asked to be in a short film. And I really liked it a lot. I liked the whole experience, and I decided to go to class. And I was in class for about 5 years, and I just wanted to only do that. I really began to love it.
First, do you remember your first movie, short film you did? What was the name of the title?
Yeah, a fitting finale, and it was done in Charlotte. And I actually met everyone who I know today, who I've worked with again and again. That was the first short, but I was on, I think the first thing I ever did, although I didn't speak, was on It's Supernatural, which is a show that shoots in South Charlotte. But it was my first time on that was background. And I did do I don't know what came first. There was also a car commercial that I did. And I met some actors too that I still know to this day. But my first speaking role was on that short film.
Now, what character did you play on that one?
Oh my God, yeah, I'm trying to remember my character's name. It was actually a lead in the short. I had auditioned for it. And it was like a cute romantic comedy.
Now, you said you went to acting school. What was the name of the acting school you attended?
Dorch Acting Studio is what it's called now. It was the Actors Lab, it just switched names.
Now, what did you learn from Storch?
From Pat Dorch, everything. Pat taught me everything. I was with him for 5 years. Yeah, basically, I would attribute all the little things I've learned to him. It was a wonderful acting school. If anybody is looking for one, I really loved it.
Is there a favorite movie or TV show that you enjoy watching that also like make you want to take notes? Or
I mean, really everything I watch, I might be paying attention to little things, but I don't really know what my favorite is, to be honest. I don't watch a ton of movies. I actually catch myself more watching series
right.
than I do a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everything I watch, I'm paying attention.
What TV show?
Oh, what am I watching currently?
Yes.
I just I was watching two. I finished Suits and Bridgerton just recently.
Right.
Before that, Your Honor. And again, I watch a lot of different ones. So those were just the recent ones that I've watched, but they were great. Now I have to find something else to watch. If you have anything, if you have any suggestions, please tell me.
Well, there's this TV show on HBO Max. You ever heard The Wire?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
It's really good.
Okay.
It takes place in Baltimore. You have to watch the whole first through fifth season all.
Sometimes it takes me a few times. There have been quite a few that I've watched one or two episodes and said, nah. And then I'd revisit it.
Right.
I'd give it a second chance. And then all of a sudden I love it. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to warm up.
Yeah. Now, what's the challenging part of being an actor?
Well, I think any career comes with challenges, but I think normally it's rejection. It's just learning how to handle it daily, sometimes multiple times a day. It's just a way of life. So it's just handling that. And once you get a grip on it, that it isn't always personal. It isn't always, an indictment against you. Sometimes it's just, you just weren't right for it. You didn't fit the family, or you didn't fit what they were looking for. They went another direction, and it can be very true. That's exactly what happens. So just having a good handle on the fact that not everything is meant for you, and you are going to be met with being turned down most of the time, but it's all good. The things that are meant for you are really going to meet you and come your way.
Right. Now, I looked over your IMDb, and you appeared over 100 plus film, television commercials. Now, you've gone from playing a mother to a prisoner to a druggie, a cop. Now, is there a particular role you haven't tackled yet, or any genre you haven't tackled?
I mean, that's so broad. So, of course, there's going to be roles that come up that would be slightly different and make it unique in and of itself. But usually the kind of roles I would audition for or have done stay within a realm of doctor, mom, lawyer, cop, counselor, something, that is recurring. But even of themselves, I mean, they could be different. Sometimes the doctor is a nice doctor, compassionate doctor. Sometimes they're an evil doctor. So you have different takes on the character. So it's kind of broad to say, but I'm sure that there are many different ones I haven't tackled, but I usually stay within a certain confine.
You mentioned about audition. Now, how do you audition? How do you set up the audition process?
Oh, well, I have a setup where I have lights, and I bought a sheet from Walmart. It is a nice gray for my skin tone, and nailed it to the wall. I do have an unfinished basement, so it was easy to play with it and do whatever I wanted because it's not a finished space, so it didn't matter. So I have a couple different colored sheets up and backdrops, my lights. I do have a desk and chair for when I'm supposed to be sitting. And then, but I usually stand, I'd say, for most of the time. I have two different tripod sets, so I don't have to keep adjusting them. I have them at the right height. And it doesn't, it's not too complicated. I would say you just had to find a good space. Even if you didn't have a basement, if you had a spare bedroom and you painted one wall, I would say a color that you feel stood out well with your skin tone and complexion, and you found what worked for you.
Right.
My lights I bought off Amazon. Nothing has to be super expensive. You could spend a lot of money, but I think I probably spent 70 on my lights,
right,
50 on a tripod, and it doesn't have to be a ton of money. Considering the amount of time that you need it and how important it is to you, it usually doesn't take a lot of money to set up.
When you travel, do you audition too while traveling?
Yes, yes. Now, whenever if I'm driving somewhere, it is a lot easier. I can put the one portable backdrop in my trunk and take it with me. And tripod is really not a problem. They really fold down to a small size. So even if I'm flying, I can put that in my suitcase. It's just the backdrop I can't really take with me. But if I'm driving, I'll take that with me. Lights, I don't usually try to take or don't have room to take those. I'll just move lamps around wherever I am to try to get a good spot that I feel good for lighting.
Who helps you with your audition? Is it just only you, or does your husband help you out?
My husband does help me a lot of the time, most of the time. But I do have some friends around, and we do favors for each other, and we'll read for each other, whoever needs it. So I'll go to him first, and then I'll start to reach out to different friends if I need something.
Right. Now, you've been verified on Instagram, you've been verified on Facebook. Now, is there a reason for that? I mean, I understand you pretty much, to me, you're well known. So,
well, no, I chose to pay for the verification when I was offered it because there were a lot of fake accounts.
Yeah.
And because these fake accounts were trying to be me and they were trying to talk to people saying that they were me, I wanted the ability to be able to say that I had one account and that account has a blue check. So if the verified account is not speaking to you, then that isn't me. So that was my choice, just to pay for the verification.
Now, how often do you get these fake?
More than you think, and I don't understand it. I really don't. But people are always telling me, and some of them, they see the same ones, but then there are many different ones. And I try to take a screenshot of each one and put them on my story or something so people will know, even though I say it's the one with the blue check. I still like to put each one that I find out about. Just put it up there so people know. It's a crazy thing to have to deal with. It is.
Yeah, and I know it really gets on your nerves from time to time, but now outside of acting, what are your hobbies?
Well, we do travel because my husband is a travel agent. So he loves to travel. His mother used to work for the airlines, so he grew up traveling. So we do travel a lot. And outside of that, I love dogs. Love dogs. So I volunteer every week at the shelter. I love to work with them, and I love to not only be with them and walk them and pet them and give them some love and treats and all that, but I like to take their photos and spread the word around, spread their pictures around, see if they can get adopted, as all the volunteers do. All the volunteers do that, but we just hope that they find a good home.
You also got dogs of yourself. How many dogs?
No, I had Romeo. It was one dog.
Romeo? Oh,
one dog, Romeo, but he passed away in December. And now I am a grandmother to dogs. So I don't have any grandchildren. I have grand dogs. So I do watch them from time to time, but they're not mine.
Oh, now Romeo, what kind of dog is he?
He was a King Charles Cavalier, and he was almost 12.
Oh, now, when I lost a dog myself, and when I think of, I try not to think of the fact that my dog is gone, but I do remember the good memories I had with that dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And which leads me to my question: do you have like the best, like out of all the memories you have with Romeo, what was the best memory you had with him?
Oh my gosh. Well, 12 years of life with him is hard to say. I can tell you the little habits that he had that were cute. That I can say. He probably the thing I loved when he did, if I wasn't paying attention to him, he would tap me, be like, hey. And I'd look over and he'd be like, I'm over here. I'm over here. So funny. And so I do it sometimes just to get him to tap me because I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. I'll be like, Bobby, how about if we talk to me? And then Romeo will come over, tap me. And I loved it. I loved it. His favorite thing in the world was the biscotti cookies that my husband eats with his coffee in the morning.
Huh?
So no matter where he was, if he wasn't feeling good or whatever, he would drag himself over to where he was having coffee because he wanted a biscotti. So yeah, Romeo was food driven.
Mm.
Loved food. I mean, not all dogs are the same, and he was food driven.
So
So
you spoil him to the T.
anytime he had an emergency vet, it was because he ate chocolate, he ate a pack of chewing gum, he ate protein bars.
No.
He's eating something.
Oh.
He was cute. He was a cutie.
Oh man. Wow. But that that's fun. I wish I would have met Romeo myself. I mean, he seemed like a good dog, good friendly dog to everybody.
Very friendly, very friendly.
Mhm. Now, now how long have you been doing volunteering?
Actually, since January, it was when Romeo passed away, and even probably a few months prior to that, I said I'd like to do it. And then when he passed, and my husband isn't ready to get a dog yet, and I said, I really want to go to a shelter. I really want to work with them. And so I did. I just started it, but it had been on my mind prior to Romeo passing. It just was intensified after. So I started practically immediately.
Now, were there any times you was like this close for getting like, oh, I want that dog?
Oh, time and time again, I want to bring home dogs. But Bobby, it's my husband, he's just not ready for a dog quite yet. So not yet, but I would have definitely brought home a few of them.
Now, for your husband, is he like what type of dog he always enjoy? What he likes? Like, is he more?
Actually, neither one of us grew up with any dogs.
Oh, okay.
Romeo was both of our first.
That was oh, okay.
Yes. Largely not because we wouldn't have been open to it, but we came from New York and we rented there.
Right.
And so we just didn't get pets because it was something else to worry about, something happening to and having to fix, or it wasn't our own, you know. And then when we came here, we got our first place, and I guess we weren't used to it. And we talked about it, but actually, when did we get Romeo? It was about, I think I lived in the first house just a couple years, and then we got Romeo. So we moved. I lived in it for a while, getting acclimated to North Carolina, and then we got Romeo. But what led to Romeo was so funny. So yeah, I didn't know what dog to get first, and because I wasn't familiar with them, I was pinpointing a certain breed. Because it was my first one. And I was in Belk and I was looking at a calendar, a dog calendar, not intentionally. I was passing by a rack of calendars and
Right.
there was Romeo. I mean, that same dog sitting in a little doggy basket as a puppy, just staring at you. And I said, I want that dog. That's the dog I want. I didn't even know what kind of dog it was. So then I bought it because I didn't know if I would find it. So, or how to go about locating that exact breed. So I bought it and I took a picture and I'm like, what kind of dog is this? What dog is this? What kind of dog is this? He looks cute. And I read about him and it's a lap dog and he wants to be with you all the time. And that's what I wanted. And so I found a Romeo. And but now I would get one from a shelter. I want a shelter dog for sure. I just hadn't had one prior to Romeo, any dog, nor he. So
Now you've been acting for several years now. Now, how's that change you? Like throughout the years.
change me.
Yeah, how's it change?
Well, I think again, as with any career, I think you develop as a person, the more new endeavors you pursue and the more new things that you seek out, you grow as a person. I don't think you ever stop growing. So no matter how old you get, you're always learning new things, or should be to some extent. And so I don't know in what way. I just know that it's opened my mind, I think, to step out. To, I guess I was a little shy. Now that you ask and I think about it, I could say yes. I was a little shy, stepped out a little bit more. I think acting will do that to you, especially anything in the entertainment business. You don't have a choice but to, well, step out if you were a shy person by nature. But made you more confident. And it's funny, even with the rejection that comes along, you'd think it wouldn't help your confidence, but it does. You know, it made me more of a confident person. Everybody's different, what they'll take away or learn. But I can say that I value all the people in my life, all the people that I've met, the friends that have come my way, the contacts, all the networking. I'm grateful for all of it, because I can say we have just a wonderful group of people everywhere I go. They're just a wonderful group of people that I come in contact with.
How would you describe yourself now in 3 words?
Oh,
The
well,
description.
I would say I'm a wife and I'm a mother. First and foremost, I'm a wife and a mother. No matter how old your kids are, you're always a mom. And I am determined and resolute to stick with acting as a career, no matter what obstacles or bumps in the road, and we all have them that come our way, that this is what I've chosen and I'm just going to keep going forward.
Are there any upcoming projects are you working on?
Yes.
Now?
Well, let's see. I'll work backwards. So for next spring, there is a SAG project. It is a feature called The Crossing, and I have that sometime in the spring. They didn't set exact dates. In December, I'm in a feature in Atlanta, and I'll be there for a week. It's called 267. I don't know if that's the title they're going to keep, but it's the working title now. And I am in The Warrior in the fall, and that is a short film. And then Marriage Rehab is September, so it's still fall, but it's earlier fall. Marriage Rehab, and I have a day or two on set of that. And tomorrow I go to New York, and I'm there for 10 days.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. And
oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And now tell the audience where they can follow you.
My Instagram account is my name, and my Facebook account is my name. I didn't choose a stage name, or I didn't choose something else. It's my name, and it has a blue check. It has a blue check. In case
Blue check.
you find another Rachel Petsiavas. No, the one with the blue check.